expert. And we kick off this week with news about Sonia Kruger. What about her, you say? Well, the Nine Network has just come out the other side of a years-long legal case, which all started when Sydney man Sam Ekamawi lodged a complaint in response to on-air comments made by Ms. Kruger. The comments were made in the aftermath of the terror attack in Nice, France, where a Muslim terrorist killed 86 people on Bastille Day by running over them in a truck. A truly tragic event. But after that, of course, everybody got on the bandwagon with comments. Andrew Bolt wrote a column, a piece on Muslim immigration in Europe, and Kruger said something in response to that on air. She said this. She said, "Personally, I think Andrew Bolt has a point here, that there is a correlation between the number of people who are Muslim in a country and the number of terrorist attacks. Now, I have a lot of very good friends who are Muslim, who are peace-loving, who are beautiful people, but there are fanatics. Personally, I'd like to see it stopped now for Australia because I want to feel safe, as all of our citizens do, when they go out to celebrate Australia Day." Now, when she says it stops, she means Muslim immigration. So a fairly firm stance there. But amidst much softness, saying, well, many Muslims are peace-loving, but it's the fanatics that she's concerned about after this attack. Now, she was heavily criticised on air by her co-hosts, David Campbell and Lisa Wilkinson, and the criticism was heavy enough that the day after she made the comments, she made another on-air statement. And the on-air statement was to this effect. She said that she felt Bolt's column made some relevant points, but wants to make it clear that I have a complete respect for people of all races and religions. I acknowledge that my views yesterday may have been extreme. It is a hugely complex issue and sensitive, and it's an issue with no simple answer, and it's an issue that cannot be fully discussed in a short televised segment. Now, here we are 2.5 years down the road, and we have this legal matter that went to the New South Wales Civil and Administrative Appeals Tribunal. What did they think of all of this? Now, you've just heard the comments, okay? And I've read them slowly so that we could listen. This is what they said about those comments. The tribunal said that they were vilifying remarks, I quote that, which amounted to a stereotypical attack on all Muslims in Australia and had the capacity to encourage hatred towards or serious contempt for Australian Muslims by ordinary members of the Australian population. The tribunal said her comments went beyond simply a fair report of Andrew Bolt's article. Kruger provided her own views and commentary on the issues, and these additions were not just opinion, they were vilifying remarks in their own right. Ms. Kruger could have expressed her comments in a more measured manner to avoid a finding of vilification. For example, she could have referred to the need for Australia to engage in greater security checking of people wishing to migrate who may happen to be Muslims and the need to prevent a drift towards radicalisation amongst Muslims currently in Australia. Blah, blah, blah. Summary is this. Don't talk about Muslims, terrorism and immigration. Unless, of course, you have the trained tongue of a lawyer or you are a politician and you know how to expertly navigate that fine, meandering line between what is illegal, what is not illegal, what's risky, what's not risky, qualifying everything that you say in just the right way and using precisely the right words. If you can't do that, close your mouth. Now, I just read you Kruger's comments. If we as Australians cannot talk about these things as she did, to say that she knows all these peace-loving Muslims, to acknowledge the fact that there is a radical minority, and to say, well, in her mind, the way around it is to stop Muslim immigration. That's a contribution to the debate. I'm not supporting or otherwise that particular comment. But if we can't talk about this in that particular way, then we are in very serious trouble. Because do you know what will actually stoke hate and resentment from ordinary Australians? It's actually not Sonia Kruger, despite what the tribunal says. It is, in fact, tribunals like this one, media personalities and politicians who browbeat ordinary Australians as ignorant haters for trying to verbalise in their own voice and with language that is accessible to them, their own very real and very sincere concerns. Let the people talk. Listen to them. Answer them. Help them. Is that so novel to actually listen and understand what the concern is and then actually go and talk to them and actually either solve the problem or show them clearly how they've misconceived the problem, if indeed they have? Don't insult them, shout them down, and ignore them, because that's exactly what's going on. Don't punish them with legal process, and don't tell them how they can and cannot talk about things and what they can and cannot say. That won't end that well. It breeds tremendous resentment amongst ordinary people who hate political correctness. A survey out in the US just the other day, which shows like 3/4 of the population or more actually fed up with political correctness and not knowing what they can and can't say. But here's the good news. Say what they like, they didn't get her, because in New South Wales there is no law against religious vilification. And in my view, I don't think there should be. There is in Victoria, there is in the ACT, so the concern is this. Where there are laws of that nature, comments as benign as that one, according to this tribunal, are illegal. So much for basic free speech.